Happy Saturday morning. It is just before 7 a.m. I just entered the North Highway 120 gate in Yosemite National Park. Looking to disconnect a little bit this weekend from, well, as much as possible. I'm just emotionally burned out at many levels, and I just need to get away. So I don't know where I'm going, to be honest. I don't know where I'm gonna stop. I know a few places I always stop at, but in general, I don't really have any destination in mind. I don't know where I'm gonna sleep tonight, and I don't really care. I just wanna get away from just about everything. One thing I do know is I will be avoiding Yosemite Valley. Now, I like the valley, but not during the summer. It's just too much of a circus. Also, Tioga Pass opened a few weeks ago, and the whole Tioga Pass area is actually my favorite part of Yosemite. This year, I decided to try something new, and that is a portable refrigerator. And this is the second time out using it, and I have to say, I don't know if I could ever go back to regular coolers again. These things are just so much nicer. They're large, yes, they take up room, you gotta think about power consumption, but it's worth it. It really is worth it. And these dogs are spoiled. So their mom started this, feeding them chicken mixed in with their kibble, and now they expect it for every meal. So even when we're out on the road, they expect it. So it's a little after 8 a.m. and yes, I'm gonna take a nap. I got up at 2:15 this morning. Wasn't in bed till like 11:30. Need to get up early so I can get here and be in the gate before 7 a.m. This year is crazy. I mean, like every year the gates will get backed up. This year's been ridiculous at Yosemite. So if you're not coming through before 7 a.m., you're gonna get stuck in some really long lines. So I want to make sure I got in the gate and didn't get stuck in lines. And now I'm in the park, but I'm also tired. I need a little bit of a break. So I'm gonna take like an hour-long nap and then get back on the road. I thought real quickly though, I would show you the inside of the truck, how I'm set up for this little weekend trip. So I'm on my sleeping platform, which I covered in a previous video. You see towards the back, got the dog bed right here, though the dogs are sleeping up front. Storage rack, I got lights, food, dog food, paper towel. That side has some blankets and towels and knives and utilities. Right over here is the portable refrigerator. If you look up front, there's the dogs. So they're claiming the seats right now. Well, that was a little more than an hour, but it was well worth it. It was very much needed. I feel a lot better now. I'm almost to Olmsted Point, and I'll be curious to see the road damage that the Park Service talked about. So there was a lot of snow this year, and I imagine a combination of small avalanches and just erosion from the snow melt and the weight of the snow. I guess it caused some damage to the roads. So it'd be interesting to see how bad the roads really are. Can't really see the damage too well, but they have pretty much dug up that entire lane. And this is like a new road. This was like freshly laid blacktop like from 2 years ago. So it's already had to be repaired. Other than stopping by Tenaya Lake for a second so they could get water, I haven't really stopped anywhere. I'm just kind of not in the mood to stop anywhere along this pass. I think I want to get to the other side around Highway 395. It's usually quieter. I'm just honestly not in a great mood. There's a lot of things going on in my life that are not too positive, and all of it involves other human beings. And Yosemite really isn't the place you go to get away from people, to be honest, unless you're backcountry hiking. Otherwise, you're going to be around a lot of people. And I love being up here. I love being in the woods and the mountains, but I'm still really not feeling that great. And it's not like there's more people than usual up here. The numbers seem to be on average. I think I'm just not really in a good place right now. Just a lot going on. And I'm realizing now how bad of a place I've been in. And I'm not really sure why that is. I think maybe one of the things is I have not had a very productive summer. Both travel, camping, just overall creativity, creative projects. It's not what I normally prefer it to be. There just hasn't been enough going on to make me truly happy. Past the Cathedral Lakes trailhead back there, that is some really good hiking. That's some really good hiking. I really enjoyed that hike. I could probably go for a hike, something fierce, but unfortunately I have them with me, and there's no hiking with dogs in national parks. National forests, BLM land, yes, but not in national parks. And that's one of the reasons I'm just pushing through, heading to 395. Maybe I'll go for a nice walk or something. And they need a walk. They're kind of restless right now and getting on my nerves. But as long as I'm in national park territory, I'm really, really limited on where I can walk them. We just exited the back gate, the Tioga Pass gate, and this is the traffic jam to get into the park right now at 11 a.m. Now this is the back gate. I can guarantee you that the front gates off like 140 and 120 are 10 times worse than this right now. I guarantee it. We're coming up on the Parker Lake Trailhead. This is over in the June Lake area. Now, this trail is a little under 4 miles, about 3 3/4 miles according to All Trails. I think that is a reasonable distance for his first high elevation hike. He has energy. He has a puppy. He has energy, but he still kind of lacks in stamina. So he may or may not be able to do this whole hike. We'll find out. But I want to get these guys out and try to burn some energy. Just got started on the trail. It's pretty narrow. A lot of boulders in the way. I didn't see any signs saying specifically, but I don't see this being a mountain biking trail. Definitely a hiking trail. And definitely gonna be a challenge when I come across people and I have 2 dogs trying to get out of the way. This will be interesting. Just over half a mile in, finally starting to get a little bit of coverage, some trees. It's been pretty exposed to the sun, and even at high elevation in the high 70s, that can be kind of uncomfortable, at least for me. I've had 2 heat strokes in the military, so I've always had a hard time with the heat since then. And then the puppy, he's doing okay. He's actually making an effort to walk behind me to stay in my shadow. So I think despite his fur, he's fairly sensitive to the sun. Oh, and the puppy wants to lie down in the shade for a second. So I'm gonna let him take a break. All right, we're about halfway to the lake. He's doing better. I gave him some water, and probably in the past quarter mile, he had like a sudden burst of energy and was out front pulling me again. So he's been doing good. We're taking another shade break. You know you're at the halfway mark when you come across this tree with like 2 logs that could be used as a bench. And it's decent shade too. So this is actually a pretty nice little halfway point. And then get back at it. After the halfway marker, there's a lot more coverage. This is really nice. A little more bugs, a few mosquitoes here and there. So far, it hasn't been too bad. I bet in the evenings, it can probably get a little bit insufferable. I finally made it. This is a beautiful little lake. A lot of little spots, everyone can find their own corner. You got people out there with their hammocks. I should have brought mine, that would have been great. Just kind of kick up for an hour or so and relax. I would give this 4.9 out of 5. Can't give it a 5 just because I did see a few mosquitoes. So the moment I see a mosquito, losing points for that one. Sorry. And there's definitely a part of my soul that starts to deteriorate when I'm not getting outdoors enough. I can feel it. I'm not happy with anything, like even at work lately. I'm not treated bad. I'm paid well enough. I get to work remote, do the things that I'm good at. Lately, I've been hating my job and I don't understand why. No one's disrespecting me at work. Every morning before I start work, it's like tight pain in my chest. Just so unhappy. I think it's because I'm not getting out on the weekends lately. And this year, even though everything opened back up, right? COVID's over, all the parks are open again. No more face mask rules, no more restrictions. I'm not getting out. What the hell? Man, something, it wasn't just the pandemic, something else really, really derailed my momentum. And got in the way of me taking care of my mental health. When I was heading to the lake, there was a family set up right here. They had their chairs, little table, just enjoying the view. I wanted to come over them, but you know, they had claimed the spot, right? And some stranger walks up with his dogs, you know, not cool. And now they're gone, so I can come over and check it out. Yeah, this is pretty gorgeous. I can see why they came out here. That light is bright. All right, so I'm out tonight trying to get in some astrophotography. I used to do this like all the time, religiously. And then a few years ago, well, I mean, the world changed. Things in my life changed, not just the pandemic, but like employment status. And so that really kind of messed me up, actually. And it really messed up my momentum and even the energy I had for some of the types of photography I was into. So fast forward to the present, I'm trying to get back into it. My gear's a little different these days. So tonight I'm shooting on the Lumix S5 and the Sigma 16-28 f2.8. Now, traditionally, I would shoot with a 14mm, like all the time. I don't have a 14mm L mount right now. I'll probably blow some money on one in the future, but not right now. So I'm trying to make do with the Sigma. You know, overall the Sigma has been pretty decent actually, but I'm still not sold yet on getting a 14mm lens. There's some nice ones out there, but they cost a lot of money. Now I did play with the idea of using the GoPro Hero 11. It is a decent little GoPro. They did improve a little bit on the low light performance, but in my tests, I really wasn't impressed. Now, the rumor came out this past week that the Hero 12 might have a 1-inch sensor. That could really, really improve the low light performance. So I'm gonna give the Hero 12 a shot, and maybe that will be my ultra wide when I wanna go wider than 16mm. Well, that was enough fun for the night. I'm gonna head on out and go find me a spot to boondock and catch some Z's. So I will see you all in the morning. out here in the Eastern Sierras, just exploring random 2 tracks going down canyons, taking me to abandoned cottages like this one. I'm gonna guess this is probably from the gold rush era. There's a lot of these out here, these old abandoned cottages from that time. They're all bolted shut. You probably can't see it, but I think the Forest Service bolts these closed for safety reasons. Most of these, I don't know the history of this one, to be honest. If I find out later, I'll put a link in the description. This is just a random stop on this trip. But usually the story is someone came out here, had a claim, worked it for X amount of years until either it dried up and they went bankrupt or they died working out here. That's usually the story. It's like an old set of wind chimes or something. There's a lot of history out here. It's really interesting. I passed another cabin on the way in. That one was really run down. Seems like the road or the little trail dead ends here. So I'm gonna turn around and head back out. I just can't help myself but to explore these when I find them, because you never know what you're gonna find out here in the mountains. I'm starting to make my way slowly back home. I'm heading from east to west over Sonora Pass right now. Sonora Pass is definitely one of my happy places. I just like to just cruise and relax. Done a lot of boondocking up here as well. It's some of the best boondocking ever. I am doing much, much better. I don't have a tightness in my chest and a headache when I think about going back to work tomorrow. So I think this disconnection, this little road trip, did me some good. It was a much needed getaway. People are slowly getting better at opening up about their mental health, talking more openly about it. You know, I deal with depression like a lot of people do out there, for my own reasons. Everyone has their own reasons. They have some sort of issue with depression or PTSD, and it's not a competition whose is worse, or whose is more traumatic, or who has more of a right to claim PTSD. Right? We all have our issues. I think instead of making a competition out of it, we just acknowledge that people have struggles. People are going to have issues. Some people can talk about them, some people can't. But people are going to have their issues, and they don't need to justify to anyone else why. So if you made it this far, I definitely tip my hat to you. I didn't really have a plan for this at all. Certainly no script. It's just me, the raw me, unfiltered, unplanned. Of course, I can't say unedited because clearly I did some editing. But for the most part, this was the raw me this weekend. And I'm doing a lot better. And before I go, I want to welcome all my new subscribers. I've had kind of a spike in subscriptions, pushed me over 500. I really wasn't expecting that at all. I don't really ask for people to subscribe to this channel or anything like that. I do this for fun. I don't have a release schedule for new content. I'm always working at content. Like, I have like 3 other videos I'm still working on. It's just so slow, I have very little time for it. So there is more content coming. I just can't give you an ETA. But I do appreciate the subscribers. See that people are interested in what I do and what I share on here. And of course, the interaction, the comments. People ask real questions, have real conversations. And that is something I do appreciate and I do enjoy. So thank you for that, and please continue. I think we all learn a little something from that. Well, with that said, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you again next time.